All right, today we are at Casa de Barro, which is a little mud house. And I have to say, this is the highlight of my trip. And I cannot help but think about my students again. How can I get my engineering students to come here? How can I get my engineering students to come here? So the point is that everything here is locally based. So I have a section of my CIA framework, cultural integration framework, and it's called an L STEM. So it's local STEM. And the local STEM simply pushes the idea that, or posits that it is much more relevant to use local systems, local materials, local ways of thinking in developing STEM related projects. And this is a fascinating example. The two families, or the family that runs this place, they are the wife is from Belgium, and I believe the husband is also foreign, but they migrated here and have built a sustainable house. And it's generally called a little mud house because it's small, but it's good enough for two. And then on another side of the yard or the compound, they have an Airbnb, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's almost like climbing on a tree house and having a tree house within a tree house, and people come to live there. Their bathroom is in the outside bathroom is with bananas under a tree. So the idea of local STEM completely comes to life for me. It completely comes to life, and I hope I can have some funding to come out here and spend more time, really look how I can blend the theory with what they're doing on the ground, like a case study, of what's happening here, to really highlight my point about using local ways of STEM, ancient ways of STEM in developing housing, in developing maybe cooking, medicine, which they have medicine, they have cooking, they have gardening, they have building, and they're thinking about ways to clean the river and get the trees growing again. And the most fascinating story was having the 7 point something earthquake happen, and the only building that stayed without any harm was the building that was made out of the local materials. Mind-blowing, right? But not uncommon, because the ancients or the people of old, or the ancestors that lived here, were using these materials. And the professor said that the person that taught him was one of the elders in the villages. He said that he was going to give him something that he was going to build a beautiful house with, and pointed to some materials. And one of them was material that came from the volcanoes. So he listened to the locals, and he built something here, adapted a little bit, but it is something that is very, very culturally relevant. It is a STEM project that is significantly culturally relevant and protects the environment, is sustainable. They live a very sustainable life. They live with the communities. They just enjoy sharing with the community, even the medicine, the food that they grow, and all of that. So it is quite exciting. All right, as I think about my students, I think about the plumbing. The plumbing around here is fascinating. And all of this is part of the plumbing system. The water is stored under here. And then the stuff that, the clay that comes out from under here is what was used to build this building. And these trees are cleaning some of the waters that come out of the bathroom. So it is really great how they have used every single material in this place, in this hill, to build a very sustainable ecosystem for people to come and explore, and for them to live a very peaceful and sustainable life. And I love one thing he said was that people leave, but other people come here, like they came here because they wanted a peaceful life, a happier life. But people here leave, instead go looking for a peaceful life and a happier life somewhere else, right? And it boils back down to, what is happiness? What is happiness? People might look at your environment and think, oh, this is heaven. And then you look at your environment and you think this is hell. So what is happiness? That question keeps coming up on this trip. What is happiness? What are we teaching our students when it comes to happiness? What are we teaching our students when it comes to success? What are we teaching our students when it comes to just respecting the local ways of other people and why those local ways work? Right? So he even talked about how some of his colleagues that are doctors and researchers came and they kept asking him about things that seemed to the locals as common sense, but were not common sense to them. Like, is the foundation of this house solid? So it is solid. The locals have been doing this for hundreds of years. It is solid. So it is really great. And I think that if we're going to build a generation of learners, we need to build a generation of learners, future leaders that understand different contexts and can fully integrate what they're doing in their lives from different perspectives, not just their own. And I strongly believe that with the evolution of AI, these are the things that are going to matter. Whether you're an engineering student, whether you're a physics student, whether you're a mathematics student, whether you're an engineer, these are the experiences that are going to matter. Learning about other people, learning about their cultures, learning about different ways of doing things. These are the things that are going to matter. Like the clay house, the clay house technology that was developed in California somewhere. And that is not actually a new thing. That is something that Africans have been doing for a really long time, building houses with clay. But people are starting to recognize it as useful, the way it is insulated, the way it preserves air, the way it lets in heat and lets out or keeps out the cold and and preserves the heat in the house, insulates the heat. So all of those things are old ways that need to be brought back so that we can have a more sustainable life.
The toilet, yes. With that shower, yes. And also with this beauty here. And I can tell you, it comes with a very sexy name, Lorena. Oh. I took years to understand it was lodo y arena. Lodo is clay. Clay. Arena is sand. That's basically what you need to start with a wonderful way to cut firewood in half. Simple like that. Actually, Ina is a wonderful, builder of this type of things. She built 11. Sexy one. But there is something in common Lorena has with the shower and with the miarpolito. These are very simple ways, alternatives for this village to basically get the river clean, to get the forest back. Because I was telling you about this hill where we're planting trees. Well, you may be looking at it in the horizon. That's actually a ceremonial site that comes to life 2 times a year, right where the Tlaloc, this Aztec god, was celebrated by our ancestors. And we're using all this symbolic depth, in order to remind people why is it that we should have, forest back after 50 years? Why is it that we should have a clean river, right? Now, I can also tell you that it was a base for a project that started with friends of us coming to have dinner and grabbing a few mezcales, right? And after the third mezcal, very gently asking us, hey, is there a chance to stay the night somewhere here? So we started air-conditioning the place upstairs, right? It was a great place for us to tell our friends, to use the bathroom, to use the shower, right? I don't know about the public, right? What if we offered it to the public using Airbnb, for example?